All right, so the 2022-23 championship season starts tomorrow, and we're going to try and do the unthinkable and predict the league table. This league, I've always said, is so incredibly hard to predict because teams tipped for relegation can end up challenging for promotion, vice versa. I mean, it's genuinely so impossible. But yeah, just as long as we can get a few of these right, I'll be happy. But honestly, I have my doubts when it comes to this. I'm also going to do this for the Premier League, and I might do it for the other leagues as well. I'm not sure yet. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so 24th place, rock bottom. I'm going to go for the ladder here, and it's Rotherham, and here's why. I say this all the time. Rotherham are so good in League One. They're like one of the powerhouses, just like Norwich are in the Championship. But once Rotherham gets up to the Championship, they're so fucking bad. Like, they're an embarrassment. The only reason they didn't finish rock bottom 2 years ago was because of Sheffield Wednesday's points deduction. But now, I mean, everyone, as far as I'm concerned in the league, is pretty well behaved behind the scenes. So I don't really expect any points deductions. And I fully expect Rotherham, fresh off a good League One season, to absolutely shit the bed, have a horrid season, and go straight back down to League One. But look on the bright side. We'll probably see you back here in 2 years. All right, now 23rd place. This is the team that I've been predicting to go down for the past 2 years. I'm just going to keep doing it until they do get relegated, but it's Birmingham City. And, I mean, they're not one of the worst teams in the league, but, I mean, we saw with Burnley last year, you don't need to be one of the worst teams in the league to get relegated. You just need one bad season. And Birmingham have had multiple bad seasons. They just have kind of safely avoided the relegation zone. To me, this is a very stacked championship field this year. I think anyone apart from Rotherham has a chance to stay up. I don't know. I'd rather stick with Birmingham getting relegated than predicting them to stay up and they do go down. But look, it is what it is. All right, now coming in 22nd place, there was a few teams it could be, but I've gone for one of the newly promoted clubs. I've gone for Wigan Athletic. Obviously, they were a good team a few years ago, and, you know, their finances were horrendous. And I just don't see Wigan with a fresh new squad compared to their championship squad a couple years ago. It just doesn't seem like they can withstand the league. But again, I could be wrong. Out of all my bottom three, I think this is the one I could get wrong. So, sorry, Wigan fans. All right, we're into survival now. In 21st place, I'm going for a team that just came up last year. It's going to be Hull City. Like I said, Hull is a shell of its former self. I mean, 5 years ago, they were in the Prem. I mean, what, they finished 19th last year, fresh after a League One title? I mean, decent season for like a newly promoted team, but I predict a second season syndrome, but I don't think they'll go down, although they could. But I'll leave them there. All right, 20th place, I've gone for the final newly promoted club, and it's our old pal Sunderland. Now, I mean, talk about an old Prem team. This is one of them right here. It's good to see him back, to be honest. I mean, it's been weird without him for the past, like, however many years. They've just kind of been floundering around in League One, bottling the playoffs, bottling automatics. I mean, you name it, they've pretty much done it all. But they did win the playoff final at Wembley last year. So they're back. And predicting them to go down is probably the stupidest thing I can do right now. I think genuinely, not even just for the content, I genuinely think Sunderland's going to stay up. They just got to go out and do the damn thing. But let's just hope they do so, because I'm not quite sure. All right, 19th place, I've gone for Blackpool. I just don't understand. Blackpool is in such a good situation. They have a great season. Why did Neil Critchley leave? I don't understand. Like, he is a perfect situation, just like the Forest Green coach. Blackpool's definitely going to struggle without him. I mean, it's going to be a rough season compared to last year, but hey, it's your funeral, mate. All right, 18th place. I know a lot of people are predicting this team to go down. I'm going to go for Reading. I think they're going to stay up. They had a rough one last year. I'm predicting a slight rebound, even though they're still kind of ass. Like I said before, Reading's got some ballers. They're underrated. I mean, last year, I didn't expect it to be that bad considering they bottled promotion 2 years before. Morale's something big in this league because you bottle promotion like that, you're stuck in a division you don't want to be in. And it's not like the Prem, where you just miss out on a title. You keep your players. With the Championship, you just miss out on the title, and your players leave for better clubs. Reading getting relegated just wouldn't make sense to me in my head. So I got him in 18th. All right, 17th place, I'm going for Bristol City. Nigel Pearson does not get relegated. He is keeping this team up. They're not going to be good. I'm just going to say that right now. They're not going to be good. But don't doubt the man, Nigel Pearson. That's the GOAT right there. They were not great for the past 2 years, but I don't think they're going to get relegated. Like I said, it don't make sense in my head. All right, so we're now on to the mid-table section. 16th place, I'm going for everyone's promotion favorite. I'm going for Stoke. Listen, Stoke ain't going anywhere. Stoke is not going to the Prem. They're not getting relegated. They've literally just locked themselves into mid-table mediocrity for the rest of the championship's history. Ever since they went down, they've just not been the same. And I kind of expect the same thing. Very underwhelming season for Stoke as per usual, but why not? All right, coming in 15th place, I am going for Cardiff. Where are they? There they are. Man, what a fall from grace. I mean, Cardiff was always just in the playoff spots, and then 18th last year, that came out of nowhere. I wasn't really sure where to put Cardiff, because, I mean, fresh off a really bad season like that, I think if they would have gotten Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey, they would have definitely been promotion favorites, but I don't think it's going to be that good of a season. I'm just going to put them somewhere in the middle, because I don't know. All right, coming in 14th place, I'm going for the jersey I have on right now of Swansea City. I'm not a Swansea fan, but this is one of the greatest kits I've seen in my life. But, I mean, Swansea's not a terrible team. I mean, after the playoff final 2 years ago, they lost everybody. They were kind of in a transition rebuild sort of state. But like I said, in English football, you can't really do a rebuild because you'll get relegated if you play bad. There's no first round draft pick or anything of that nature. You kind of got to retool rather than rebuild. I'm not expecting too much. I think a 14th place finish is generous here, because it wouldn't surprise me if Swansea wind up in a relegation scrap. But like I said, it's the championship. I don't know what's going to happen. Literally anything can happen. Swansea can finish anywhere from 1st to 24th. And that's just, it's the fact of the matter. All right, 13th place. I'm going for Blackburn Rovers. I'm doing this with every intention that Ben Brereton leaves, because if he stays, I'm going to be shocked. I mean, this dude is more than likely going to West Ham, I think. But, I mean, even if they still had him, I'm not really expecting too much. I mean, Blackburn had Adam Armstrong, who was even better, and they did even worse. So, I mean, it's a mid-table spot, right around top half, just below it. Blackburn have a decent team, but like I said before, they don't know how to capitalize. And this is a former Premier League champion, but I'm going to stick Blackburn right there. I think it's a good spot for him. All right, coming in 12th place, I'm going for another team that everyone keeps predicting for promotion or playoffs, and that's QPR, kicking off our top half. Listen, QPR will either play really well in the first half and then really bad in the second half, or they'll play really bad in the first half and really good in the second half. So I think 2 years ago, they were like 21st at Christmas, and then Mark Warburton hauled them up to 9th. And then last year, they were somewhere high up, and then they like fell all the way back. It's kind of weird with QPR. Again, I don't know where to put them. So I'm going to stick them here and watch. They'll probably be good, but I'll leave them there for now. All right, 11th place, I've gone for Kev's son. If you know, you know, Preston North End. Preston I've gotten right twice in a row because I predicted him 13th. Twice in a row. But if there's one thing I know about football, is that teams rarely finish in the same spot 3 years in a row. So I predict a bit of a change. I think with the human egg that is Alex Neil out the door, I think they got room for improvement. Like I said, I think Preston can do it. They're a decent team. I really don't know. All right, we're into the top 10. Starting things off in 10th place, we got I mean, look, Millwall's been a pretty good team over the past couple of years. Ever since that 21st place finish like 3 or 4 years ago, they've been really, really solid. Do I think they'll get playoffs? No. Do I think they'll have a good season? Yeah. I mean, if I had one word to describe Millwall, it would probably be either consistent or productive, because, I mean, nothing bad, nothing good. Just kind of like Burnley did in the Prem before they went down. But you know what? We'll give Millwall a top 10. It'll make Josh happy. All right, now coming in 9th, I've gone for a bit of a risk here, but I believe, I'm going for Coventry. My thing is, right, I think Coventry will be in the Prem by 2025. It is a bold-ass prediction. I said this like 2 years ago. I get the vibe. I get the vibe from Coventry. I like the vibe. I think they're on the right track. I think Mark Robbins is doing one hell of a job. I don't know. I feel like they could get playoffs, but like I said, this is a stacked championship field. So I don't think playoffs, but I think top 10 is a definite. And like I said, I think maybe next year they get playoffs, and then the year after they get promoted. Like I said, I fully believe in Coventry's hype. So I'm going to put them in 9th. I think it'll be a good season, very solid season, but no playoffs. All right, now coming in 8th, I've gone for the playoff final losers of Huddersfield Town. Again, like I said, Huddersfield got all the way to the playoff finals. They had a really great season last year. But you have no idea how much a promotion collapse can destroy a club's morale. And Huddersfield seems like the prime candidate for that. Because we saw it happen to Forest, we saw it happen to Reading, we've seen it happen to Swansea now, and it's going to happen to Huddersfield. The fate is looming. But I don't think it'll be that bad. Like, Huddersfield have more of a solid squad than the rest do, so I don't think they'll fumble into like bottom half or like relegation scrap, but I think it will be a stinky season for their standards right now. But I mean, 8th place is nothing to sneeze at. It just sucks that the year before they went to the playoffs. But look, I think it'll be a pretty productive season. I think they'll probably fumble it on the final day potentially, but 8th place for Huddersfield. All right, so coming in 7th place, I'm going for another risk because I just primarily don't want the same 3 teams to come straight back up, and I'm going to say Watford. But I don't know, I think out of the 3 that went down, I think Watford probably is the worst out of the 3, even though Norwich got more points last season. I don't know, there's something off about Watford. It's rubbing me the wrong way. I think they're going to miss out. All right, we're into the playoffs. 6th place, I'm going for a repeat of last year, the boys at Luton Town. Well, how do you not love this club? I mean, everything about Luton is amazing. The fact that Nathan Jones had a David Moyes type comeback. The club is so tiny, yet they play so well. I think it'll be another productive season. I think Nathan Jones will keep this team on a persistent track. I don't know if they'll ever get to the Prem. I'm going to say playoff semifinal loss again. Again, playoffs for Luton is something to really, really be proud of. All right, coming in 5th place, I've gone for West Brom. Now, I think Steve Bruce will definitely rebound after last year's disaster class. Did not expect that at all. But West Brom did lose some key players, mainly Sam Johnstone, who is a rock in goal. But aside from that, I think the team's fine. I don't really, it's same old West Brom. You know, I'm gonna say it right now, I think West Brom goes up. I think they will. West Brom's your playoff champions. I'm probably way off on that. All right, coming in 4th place, I've gone for Middlesbrough. Now, definitely a playoff team, but the fact of the matter is the end of their season last year was so bad. It was literally Norwich and Watford levels of bad. I mean, Chris Wilder, in my opinion, is the best coach in the league. But like I said, I mean, if he ends the season like that, they ain't going anywhere in the playoffs. I think they'll probably just lose to West Brom by like 1 or 2 goals. Good season nonetheless, though. I think they definitely have a future in the Prem at some point, just not this year. And in 3rd place, I'm going to go for Sheffield United. Like I said, I think Sheffield's going to have a good team going into the season. I think Paul Heckingbottom is definitely proving all the haters wrong. Obviously, that'll be different if they ever get to the Prem because he can't handle that. But like I said, I mean, Sheffield's a good team. They just need to score. Like, Ryan Brewster was an expensive signing for their standards, and he's done nothing. He's really done nothing. He's got to produce some goals, otherwise Sheffield's going nowhere. But, I mean, I think they'll easily scoop past Luton, and they'll lose to West Brom in the final. We're into the automatics. These 2, in my opinion, will be back in the Prem next season. I think if Daniel Farke was still coaching, Norwich would win the league. But since he's not, I'm going to put them 2nd. Look, Norwich is a phenomenal championship team. They are so good in this league. I just don't think Daniel Farke's the championship mastermind. I don't think Dean Smith is. The only reason he went up with Villa was because of the playoff final. And they were like 5th, I think, that year. So I think Norwich will have very good season, probably like 80-something points. It'll be very productive. Teemu Pukki will bag like 25 goals. Pretty standard. I don't really expect much else to happen. It's just the team that'll finish in front of them is just miles better. And that only leaves Burnley. They're the last team left, and I think they're going to dominate. I mean, come on now. It's Burnley. The fact that Burnley's in this league, it just does not look right. It's not going to sit right with me. I'm going to miss them in the Prem this year. It's going to be very weird. Vincent Kompany was a unique hire. I like it. I think it's going to be good. Yes, they lost a lot of key guys. Even without them, I still think they're going to flirt with 100 points. Turf Moor is going to be an absolute fortress in the championship. They're probably going to lose like 1 or 2 games the entire season. Again, I expect greatness from Burnley. I think they're going to come back up. I think they're going to stay for a few more years. And I think this relegation might actually work out in the end for Burnley because they'll get to retool, dominate, win a trophy, come back up, ready to go again. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is my championship predictions for the 2022-23 season. I really hope this goes well. I pray. But again, I have my doubts. But again, comment down below if you want me to do any other leagues. My Prem ones will be out next week, the day before the Arsenal Palace game. Yeah, it's going to be the end of the video. Remember to subscribe down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys later.